with the big story here. I'm Seher Zama. Thanks for being with us. We're making a start with this decision that has been taken by the WHO regarding the HCQ trials is being seen as a sudden U-turn once again. The World Health Organization, which has now recommended that trials for the anti-malarial drug, the HCQ, the hydroxychloroquine, should continue as per planned. Remember, it was briefly suspended by the WHO itself, saying that there are safety concerns and they're revisiting the situation. Now, this recommendation once again by the WHO means that doctors will once again be able to resume giving the drug to patients registered in US health agency studies. These trials were stopped because there were certain independent studies, even from prominent names, essentially based on Lancet's findings here, which said that the HCQ wasn't safe to be used. So the WHO had decided to stop it. And now, once again, in a flip-flop, in a U-turn, the WHO gives a go-ahead for the use of HCQ, saying that the drug for COVID-19 had a higher chance of dying than those who were not. This was based on studies earlier, but now the WHO has given a go-ahead. India has always posed a very strong point of view as far as the use of HCQ is concerned, and several prominent voices, such as the CSIR here in India, has slammed the WHO in calling this a knee-jerk reaction. Let's hear further from the CSIR. We have with us this afternoon Dr. Ram Vishwakarma, Director, CSIR-Indian Institute of Integrative Medicine. Appreciate you, Dr. Ram, being with us. The CSIR, of course, terms this as a knee-jerk reaction. Did you feel that this further lowers the credibility of the WHO for across various countries who had raised this concern earlier on why the WHO had earlier chosen to stop HCQ only based on certain studies?
Yeah, so WHO took a decision based on a paper that appeared a couple of days ago in a very prestigious journal, Lancet, which had raised certain issues, but then there was a flaw in that paper. And world over, experts identified the problems, particularly the data that was used from a private company. Now we are learning that company did not have a database, did not have competent people to provide that data. So I think I welcome the decision of WHO now that they have quickly reversed their decisions and they have started the clinical trial against hydroxychloroquine. So I think I welcome on behalf of CSR this major decision that has been taken. Otherwise, a lot of lives were at stake. It was a knee-jerk reaction, but it was based on a study published in a very prestigious journal. So I think I don't find fault with neither the journal nor with the WHO, but it was based on the data that was submitted, and somehow that data was not properly peer-reviewed and appeared in this prestigious.
Yes, this is, of course, credibility issues for Lancet as well. But putting that aside, Dr. Ram, this is regarding concerns for treatment and preventive measures in using the HCQ, especially for frontline warriors of doctors and nurses across the world. What does this decision by the WHO mean today for the pandemic across the world, specifically speaking here with you for India, what this means on ground for us?
Yeah, so I think since this COVID-19 started, this controversy about the efficacy of hydroxychloroquine has been there. And this controversy can only be resolved by what we call double-blind controlled trials. So I think these trials that WHO is conducting across the world, including in India, I think these trials will give us definitive answer about this particular positioning of this drug. There are, as I will mention here, that this disease has two different phases. And one phase, hydroxychloroquine, is very helpful for the patient, particularly protecting the doctors and nurses who are dealing with these patients. But the other phase, which is more sort of what we call ICU, when the patient goes into ICU, where hydroxychloroquine is not that effective. And that is why this new drug, which has been approved by US FDA, which is also being launched in India, our drug controller also has. I think these two provide a definitely early sign. Of course, both these drugs are not perfect drugs because very short time to really do clinical trial. But these definitive clinical trials of WHO will put this controversy at rest, whether hydroxychloroquine is working or not.
But Dr. Ram, given the fact that a lot of countries would be looking up to guidelines and instructions that are coming in from the WHO on what to do in the midst of a pandemic, and the WHO really standing opposed to what major countries such as India and the US have stated in the benefits of HCQ in using that as a preventive drug, especially for frontline warriors. Do you think this is also creating avoidable confusion? The WHO could have been, should have in fact been far more careful, because there's so many countries here in a position who take their guidelines and instructions from the WHO.
Actually, there has never been divergence between WHO position and Indian positions. Indian Council of Medical Research, initially, I think 2 months ago, and they reiterated a couple of days ago, that they are staying with their decision to allow hydroxychloroquine on the prescription of doctors and doctors' advice, and also allow it for the medical staff to protect themselves from getting infected. So I think, my understanding goes that there has never been divergence between WHO opinion and Indian Council of Medical Research opinion. Of course, there are divergences in view of the other countries, I understand, but please appreciate that we are dealing with an unprecedented pandemic, and all kinds of opinions are coming from all sides. But ultimately, the final proof of concept is when these results of these trials will come. In the meantime, this drug is allowed to be used under doctor's prescription and protecting doctor staff. So I see, and I must mention here that this drug has been used in India for almost 60 years. And this is widely used in Indian population for malaria and other diseases. So I think I'm not concerned about the safety of hydroxychloroquine as far as our population is concerned. There may be less efficacy or more efficacy. That result will come from these solid.
Right. Dr. Ram, at the end of this, of course, we were all looking at this for something that would work eventually for the benefit of patients, for the benefit of COVID-19 treatment, something that can be as a workable solution here. But would you like to put it across that India stands vindicated? Because through that entire denial, that brief period of the WHO in stopping HCQ trials, India stood firm. The ICMR made it very clear, even in writing a letter to the WHO, that it's entirely in disagreement with the WHO. There is no reason to suspend the trial only based on safety concerns. And India's stand, ICMR stand, actually stands vindicated here in the face of WHO's reasoning.
Absolutely. And I think somebody at WHO took a hasty decision. They should have not taken it. And fortunately, by that time, ICMR had results of number of clinical trials done in last 2-3 months in India. So I think ICMR has the credible data in its own hand. And I'm very pleased to say that yesterday they have published that paper also. So that is available also. So I think Indian stand has been very consistent despite this flip-flop of the WHO. But I would say WHO has taken a very quick decision and reversed those early decisions, and I think trials have started. That something is very good, because this is ultimately going to be helpful for large number of people who are actually dependent.
Yes, Dr. Ram, appreciate you saying that, and also accepting WHO's quick remedy here, undoing the wrong, so to say, earlier, only based on a Lancet study. Remember, there is now a lot of answering for Lancet to do on a faulty report that was put out, based on which the WHO had taken this decision. Dr. Ram, appreciate you from the CSIR here speaking with us on this. We're getting in breaking inputs. Supreme Court has reserved the verdict on pleas that are challenging centre's order. This order dated 29th March, which had asked employers to pay full wages to employees for the lockdown period. The Supreme Court is to deliver its order here in the coming few days. This is going to be in the coming few weeks, in fact, 12th of June. Validity of the government order for full wages to workers during the 54-day lockdown period. So we are still awaiting a final word here from the Supreme Court here on this. Let's get in We'll continue getting you further inputs here. Remember, this is a much awaited order on full wages that should have been given to the employees. Stay on with us. We're slipping into a breather. Back in just a bit. With the big story here, let's now get you details coming in from Bengaluru. These are preparations to open up. Unlock 1.0 is what various cities are now going through. Shopping malls, hotels, restaurants, they're all gearing up for the 8th of June. This is for the next phase of unlocking across the state of Karnataka as per the state government guidelines. The government, which is yet to issue a standard operating procedure, though, for all to follow across the board. The Shopping Malls Association in Bengaluru have taken their own decision here for making it compulsory that only those who get a green signal on the Arogya Setu app will be allowed to enter malls. So if you're in Bengaluru, if you want to go shopping in a mall, you have to install the Arogya Setu app and it has to give a green signal on your phone. The suggestion is awaiting approval from the government, but the malls have to strictly adhere to anti-corona norms such as other norms, that is, of course, the use of face masks, use of sanitizer, maintaining adequate social distancing in their premises as well. Let's get you further details. Our correspondent Srija is getting us those inputs here. Srija, a lot of the basic safety gear norms that have already been instructed by the government, which the malls Shopping Mall Association is to follow. But the decision on the Arogya Setu app, that is entirely independent of what the state government has not even spoken about yet.
Well, that's right. In fact, we see there are a slew of measures that have been taken up by the Shopping Malls Association, because we understand the first and the basic measure that we're talking about here is only if a person is wearing mask. Now, remember, that is mandatory. Only then will they be allowed to enter. But even before that, we understand there is something called the entry pass to enter the shopping mall premises. We see you will have to compulsorily install Arogya Setu app, and only if the app shows or blinks green, we understand that particular person will be allowed to enter the premises. Now, that is basically a green signal for these people, especially in the malls, to understand that the shopper or a customer is safe and they can come in. Because remember, shopping malls, one important aspect to understand here is shopping malls at least expect over, in fact, 15 to 20,000 footfall in a day. So remember, there is something called the crowd management is something important to be looked at, and also to understand and give us more perspective. I'm going across to Manu, who's the technical manager for the Orion Mall. Well, Manu, you were also talking about Arogya Setu app, and only if they install will they be allowed to enter. We want to understand, is this a standard operating procedure issued by the government, or is this taken up by the Shopping Mall Association?
In fact, it's been mandated by the Government of India, the Ministry of Health Affairs, and even the CAI, the Shopping Center Association of India, is also mandating the same. So it's mandatory to, if you need an entry into the mall, we need to definitely have an Arogya Setu app installed, and it should show the green, then only we'll allow them the entry.
Okay. Also, can you tell us what are the kind of sanitization that takes place? Because we are talking about the crowd. The crowd management is something that we want to do.
See, we do have a footfall sensor or footfall counting sensor installed in our entrance. So we always have a kind of number of people inside the mall at any given point of time. Okay. So we have done an internal audit and, kind of understood that around 4,000 to 5,000 people can be accommodated while maintaining the social distancing measures prescribed by the MHA. Right. So we will have a close watch on the number of persons at a time inside the mall. And then coming to the sanitization process, we do have frequencies ranging from 15 minutes to 2-hour frequency. We ensure that all the points have been, the common touch points has been sanitized in every 15 minutes. And we are off late, we are installed a UV sterilizer in the escalator handrails, right, which is one of its kind in the first time in a mall we are installing it. So that ensures that it's been continuously on a real-time basis, the sterilization, right, is happening. Right. So these are the measures, and apart from that, the air conditioning systems, we will have a close watch on that as per the guidelines issued by HCQ. We are maintaining it as per the HCQ standards. So right, it's completely safe compared to any other high street scenario.
Right. Well, those were the standard operating procedures. What we would like to know is if at all an Arogya Setu app, in fact, blinks red, what is the next standard operating procedure by you?
See, we do have an SOP defined by the SCAI for this kind of scenario when if someone is detected with a COVID kind of infection. So we have an SOP in place. So we have contacts, the local BBMB contacts, and we do have hospital designated treatment hospital contacts. So we have to get in touch with them, and till such time we have to ensure that he's not been roaming around or he has been confined to a particular location. That message has been taken care of.
Well, these are the kind of measures that have been taken up by the Shopping Malls Association in the city of Bengaluru. If at all the Arogya Setu app in fact blinks red, remember they will not be allowed to enter the premises, which means they will be immediately alerting the nearby district authorities to ensure that they are being taken away from the premises. Back to you.
All right, Srija, thanks for getting us those inputs. Preparedness on ground well in place as far as the mall association there is concerned as well. We're getting in breaking inputs. This is ongoing crisis in Delhi because of the rise in the number of cases, COVID cases that continue to rise in the national capital. 23,000 plus COVID patients so far as we speak. So the Delhi Health Minister Satyendra Jain has now said that the government has decided 61 private hospitals that have been ordered to reserve 20% of their beds only dedicated for COVID-19 patients treatment. Remember, this is along the lines of what we've seen in Maharashtra government doing the same as well. Maharashtra government, of course, asking for a much larger percentage because Mumbai is dealing with double the number of cases in Delhi. There the government, of course, is now looking at ways for private hospitals to follow that instruction. This is just the start of that, of what we're seeing here in Delhi, in the national capital. Delhi government has also decided along similar lines here. It has identified these private hospitals. So there are total 61 private hospitals, and they have been ordered now to reserve 20% beds only for COVID treatment of patients. Well, we're at Unlock 1.0. Today is day 4, but the process of getting migrants back home, that still continues. And this is in a heartwarming gesture, in a heartwarming report, in fact, that has come in here, where migrants from Bengaluru were booked on chartered flights to go back home in Raipur. With no Shramik trains to the state of Chhattisgarh. Several migrants from the state were stranded in different parts of Karnataka. And this initiative, this was done at a personal level. It was jointly carried out in partnership between a law firm and the National Law School of India.
जितने साथी आए उनको वहाँ अलग अलग जिलों से बेंगलुरु से कलेक्ट करके जब एयरपोर्ट लाया गया तो सबकी स्क्रीनिंग कराई गई। सबकी स्क्रीनिंग कराने के बाद जब सारे लोग एसिम्प्टोटिक पाए गए तो फिर उनको फ्लाइट में बैठाया गया, उनकी टिकट की व्यवस्था की गई। फिर वो लोग जब यहाँ आए तो यहाँ भी उनकी दोबारा से स्क्रीनिंग की जा रही है। उसके बाद इनको बिल्कुल अलग अलग जिलों के हिसाब से उनके लिए बसें लगाई गई हैं। उन बसों में उनको डिस्टेंसिंग के साथ उनके जिले भेजा जाएगा और वहाँ उनके लिए फिर क्वारंटाइन फैसिलिटीज़ की अपने अपने गाँव में, अपने अपनी लोकेलिटी में उसकी व्यवस्था की गई है। रास्ते के लिए आप पीछे देख रहे होंगे, खाने की और पीने की इन लोगों की व्यवस्था की गई है।
कंपनी भी बंद हो गई थी, इसलिए हम लोग का 2-3 महीने से मतलब सैलरी वाली नहीं मिला।
वायरस के चक्कर में हम लोग सर काम सब बंद हो गया था और इसलिए हम लोग सर वहाँ से गांव आने के लिए आ गए थे। ट्रेन है बोल के हम लोग को 22 तारीख को ट्रेन है बोला था, लेकिन यहाँ 21 तारीख को ही वहाँ से ट्रेन निकाल दिया था। और जब हम लोग वहाँ रुके तो पुलिस वाले बोले 2 रोज़ के बाद ट्रेन है बोल के हम लोग वहाँ 14 रोज़ क्वारंटाइन में हम लोग को बैठा के रख दिए थे। और हम लोग ऐसा लग रहा था सर कभी छत्तीसगढ़ नहीं पहुँच पाएंगे, ऐसे लग रहे थे हम लोग को।
अभी खाना का प्रॉब्लम हो रहा था, रूम रेंट देना पड़ता था।
Well, yesterday that came in as a huge relief for Mumbaikars. Cyclone Nisarga suddenly changing route, sparing all the damage to Mumbai. But waterlogging reports now that have been reported because of heavy rainfall that was caused by the cyclonic storm. These have been incessant rains that are continued to lash maximum city. Continuous rains for 2 days now. And once again, the civic management, all the work that they declared had been done very clearly. None of that showing on ground. We have with us our correspondent Neha getting us these details from Mumbai's Gandhi market. This is where one such case of waterlogging that has been reported from the area.
Heavy rains have started in Mumbai, and this comes only a day after Cyclone Nisarg's impact was observed in the city. While the IMD predicts heavy rainfall for today, at least for the couple of hours now, we understand that waterlogging has already started in the flood-prone areas of the city. What we are showing you right now is the Gandhi market area, the area which usually sees waterlogging every time it rains in the city. Now, the Brihan Mumbai Municipal Corporation had made tall claims of having done all the pre-monsoon work, cleaning the sewage lines and ensuring that there will be no flooding in the city today, this time. But it is only within an hour of a heavy rainfall witnessed in Mumbai that we are showing you these visuals. You can see long queues of vehicles, one after the other, waiting to move in this serpentine line at a time when Mumbai still observes lockdown. More than 80% of the business in the city still remains shut, and here is a view that we are showing you of serpentine queues being formed of vehicles wading through the waters. This is a BMC truck that we are showing you, garbage truck, and look at the way in which it is managing to wade through the water. There, close there, if we can show you a simple example of a man trying to walk with his bicycle because he is not able to wade through the knee-deep water, almost knee-deep water that has come in Gandhi market. Here is a traffic cop who's already been now posted in place to ensure that help is reached and traffic is tried to be sorted. But within half an hour, waterlogging observed in Mumbai. Many vehicles actually broke down. They had to restart because of the waterlogging that was observed. So yes, definitely against the tall claim made by the corporation, waterlogging witnessed within an hour of rainfall in the city. With camera person Vijay, this is Neha Kulkarni for Mirror Now from Mumbai.
All right, that's one thing that Mumbai city has now to deal with as well. Waterlogging before the onset of the main monsoons, in the midst of the pandemic there as well. Stay on with us. It's a wrap on the big story here. News and updates that continue for you.